matter what color you are, there's only two classes. And that's saying there's a class over here and there's a class over there. And the reason that this class over here has never did anything to get this class off its back because this is lower, this is upper.
Welcome to the Stark Naked Truth. I'm your host, Larry Stark. On this show, we have a platform for men to sit and discuss without judgment any and all the issues in the world that surround us. A lot of the things that we just refuse to talk about. Well, I've been through some things, and I know men that have been through things that we've all held in and not gotten the help we need. So I created this platform for us to be able to express ourselves. And man, we got a great show here today. I don't want to call it a show, I want to call it a conversation with these two gentlemen here. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And we're going to have a good time, I guarantee it. As I'm going to start every one of my shows, I want to start by letting my guests introduce themselves and tell me a little bit about you as a man and what it is you see as your manhood. So we're going to start with you, brother.
Right. I'm Raphael. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. And I consider myself a very proud father, proud brother. You know, I'm a son, but I'm a very powerful individual. And I say individual, people might see me, I'm a Latin brother, but at the same time, I'm a very powerful individual, standing here, proud to be on your show, and I hope to represent that well.
All right, brother.
My name is Dwayne. I was born here in Manhattan Hospital, down in Manhattan. I come from West Indian background. My mother is from St. Thomas, father St. Croix. Raised in Amsterdam, Columbus Projects, 103rd Street, before it got gentrified. And my life has just been a ride from there. We moved to Dye Avenue. My mom started buying property. Been to college, had my master's, and just looking to do things, you know, honor my father.
Okay, so you said honor your father?
No, and your
my
father.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to go right to is the who we're not. We're not educated. We're not fathers. We're not property owners. Those are the things people say we're not. But this is an example that we are those things.
That's correct.
Raphael, what does it mean to you to be a father?
To be a father is to set an example, to be a leader, to lead in the right direction, to teach the right from the wrongs you did, and make sure that you provide, not only that you provide financially, but that you provide advice, that you provide a roof over, you know, your children's head. And at the same time, no matter what's going on, that you provide a positive mental strength and lead your children into the right direction. Brother, sister, families, but most of all, your kids.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Dwayne?
For me, what it means to be a father is just show them unconditional love. I still kiss my sons.
Absolutely.
I kiss my sons. I told them I'm not going to stop kissing you till you have a girlfriend or wife. You know, I still kiss my sons. And just be there for them emotionally. Tell them they can do anything.
Right.
They're great. They're wonderful. You're smart. You know, you're a genius. You just got to just tell them those things, because if you don't, nobody else will.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I chuckle when you say you kiss your sons. I have a son too. My son is 31 years old, and he's in Atlanta. And believe it or not, I get a kick out of the fact that he still calls me daddy. He does say dad.
I call my father daddy too.
I did mine until the day he passed, but he calls me daddy. And my son, he will hug and kiss me. And it's all about what we taught them, you know, coming up. So that's real fatherhood. That's real nurturing. We taught these boys how to have feeling and how to express them. On a previous segment, I talked about child support and the ruins, and I see your face, the ruins that has caused a lot of men. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think so many of us go through that. And I think it's important to constantly get the message out, because maybe one day one of these senators, one of these lawmakers will hear us.
That's right.
And help us get this thing righted. You know, it's really wrong right now. We need to get this ship turned right. Now, Dwight, I know we talked briefly.
Yes.
And as I started talking about it, now your face changed. What do you want to add to this?
Child support is a source of income for the states. You know, the only way we're going to change that is we have to have a march, like how the women did when they were trying to get the deadbeat dads. That I guess we were a part of. We were casualties of war at that time. But you know, my big arbitrage right now is custody. And my child support judge, she's sort of like Judge Judy. She doesn't have the verbiage, but the body language. So my ex may come in court and say, well, I want him to go to jail. Nothing happens. You know, I look at the court officer looks at me. I look at the judge looks at the lady, looks at to see how much money I'm making. We ought to shake our heads like, why you want me, if I go to jail, you're not gonna get anything.
Right.
So, you know, so I'm thankful for my my child support judge. I wish he was my custody judge. My custody judge is who I have a problem with. Even though I had 200, 300 police reports of my ex keeping my sons from me, you know, basically causing parent alienation, nothing, no punishment.
So that's interesting because I thought this, I was always told, I should say, having all this documentation, especially something like a police report, is your get out of jail free card, so to speak.
So too. And we're talking 4 different precincts in Westchester on record.
Right.
You know, didn't show or kept the kids from me or were very late. But I get penalized instead.
Wow.
Cut down my visitation. And the last time I had followed order visitation, she violated right after. I was outside waiting 3 hours for my sons.
Wow.
So I go to see, okay, let me see if they're home or something. So I go to see her car. What happened? She got a new car. She thought I wasn't supposed to know about it. Of course I know about it. People told me she got a new car, but I think she forgets that we were together 17 years. So whoever she knows, I sort of still know too. And even the new people I know, because they know the old people we know together.
Understood.
So people's going to talk. And if she opens her mouth and say who I am, so they, oh yeah, I know your husband, I heard about your husband, and vice versa. But
so custody has been a big issue for you.
Big issue.
Okay, well, we're gonna dig into that a little bit more. Ralph, Raphael, I don't mean to call you Ralph.
No, it's fine.
Ralph
I go by Ralph too.
Okay,
so
Ralph.
it's fine.
And I see you came with your young lady.
That's correct.
Your little lady, I should say. Similar situations.
Similar situation, but attacked in a different way.
Okay.
Because you know, I had seen one of your previous shows where one of the guys was mentioning about how, you know, if he had mutual custody, they both kind of have to share in with the.
Gotcha.
So I attacked it in a different manner. I kind of was, you know, strategically looking at it without feelings, keeping the feelings away and thinking of it.
Right. So I want to stop you right there because
Okay.
we're going to take a break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about that part right there,
Sounds
keeping
good.
your feelings out of it
Right.
and handling this like a real situation, so
That's
to
right.
speak.
Exactly.
Okay. You guys tune in. We're going to come back with another segment of the Stark Naked Truth.
What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
With the groove, show proof, keep it smooth as I bust the move. Hey, yo, step in swiftly, with me, keep up. If not, just stop, pop a squat, put your feet up, read up, pay attention, listen to the melody. Remember what you heard, got my words to the spell of me. Top notch, got them all jumping like hopscotch, or jumping rope like double dutch in the air. Show me what you got, keep it hot like the heater. You thinking you a treat, cause you're sweet, but I'm sweeter. Leader of the pack, cause they all stay behind me. I'm old school, you don't skip tracks, you rewind me. Find me, working on my craft.
Welcome back to the Stark Naked Truth. I'm your host, Larry Stark, and we've had a pretty interesting first segment here, talking to Dwight and talking to Raphael. I'm going to call him Ralph. I promise you a few times. But Ralph, what we finished off, what we came out of, we were talking about approaching this as a business transaction as opposed to we were once in love and all those kind of things, and how you maneuver through that.
Well, you know, I was fortunate enough because I come around my peers, and my peers always tell me, Ralph, you know, how did you see it that way, you know? And I always said, you know, I was fortunate because I told myself one thing, to always look at life as an obstacle. So when I approached the situation of now being separated from my daughter's mother, seeing child support heading my way, seeing the separation of my family, all these things coming in, you know, my feelings were going up and down. I mean, I couldn't sleep, I was pacing. But one thing that I understood was I'm right now letting the aggression take over and I'm not thinking straight. So what I did was I said, you know what, I gotta do this the smart way. As much as it might hurt me, because it did hurt me to put these feelings away and have to look at it in a different perspective, strategically to my benefit. I said, you know what, I'm not gonna look at it this way. How do I approach this so we both, because I did not want to destroy the mother either, but I said, how can we both benefit? So the first thing that I said, where did I fail in the relationship? Communication. I said, so you know what? I'm gonna be successful now in communicating this part because my daughter is more important. And I started seeing that if I strategize it that way, I started communicating with the mother. That was the first thing, communication. Even though she hung up the phone on me, kept on the communication, kept on, and kept my anger controlled, the aggression. And I started seeing results. I started seeing that okay, what do you want to talk about? And the first thing I told her, I said, listen, I'm working, you're working. There's no need to destroy me. If you destroy me, it's only gonna hurt our daughter. I said, let's come at this in a different direction. We're already going to court. We were paying for lawyers because that's how bad our emotions had got involved that we didn't even want a public defendant. We wanted to really get at each other personally. She had hired a lawyer. I said, I'm gonna hire a lawyer too. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get a lawyer who specializes in this. And we took all that away because I said, I'm spending money, she's spending money. This is ridiculous. And I started seeing it not as a Spanish or black or minority kind of way. I started seeing like, what do smart people do? What do smart people do? I don't want to be ignorant to learning how to do this the smart way. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna put all this to the side and I'm gonna attack it like this. So I started communicating where I said, listen, I'll support her, you support her. I'll keep her under my roof. If we need help or you need help, let's help each other. Listen, we don't gotta be together, but let's come up to the understanding that we can work together. Right. We don't have to be together, but we gotta work together.
Right.
And
you know, I don't want to cut you off, but I have to. Your statement is one that I think a lot of men, your statement about controlling your passion, controlling your anger, want to get to, but they don't allow themselves to. So I applaud you for being able to stop yourself and hold on to that. You know, I look at my personal experience, and I let a lot of my anger control everything I did. I didn't get a lawyer. I tried the friend approach. I did everything wrong. I did everything wrong. And I'm not going to say she did everything to really destroy me or tear me apart, but the end result was I was hurt a lot of times. And it took me a long time to get out of it and get over it. Fortunately, we're okay now. We speak, we can laugh, we can talk. We're adults. You know, it had to happen. You have to stop it at some point. We have those children. You wanna?
You two guys are lucky. My experience, I wish it could have been something even parallel to you two guys. I'm back in court next month. She takes me for child support every year to get more money. And the rule is you're not supposed to get an increase until 3 years, but she takes me every year. She puts the paperwork in. And I tried the friend approach. We were in my co-op, and I said, you know what, let's get some paperwork done. We don't have to go to court. Let's get some paperwork done, get it notarized. But we're going to do it. No, I want to go to court because we got the co-op. And, you know, it's just about money. You know, I didn't realize who I married. It was always about money, I guess.
Isn't that something, how people change up on you?
And then, you know, once she lied and got order of protection to get me out my property, had like 6 cops take me, little old me out my property, she vandalized the property so I couldn't get back into it.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. And you had there were no repercussions?
No. Because we were still married. We didn't get divorced. She took forever to divorce me. I think she did it like on purpose.
Right.
You know, I don't know if she was having doubt or somebody told her wait. I don't know which it was, but like, okay, you want to divorce me? Why are we not divorced yet? You know, it took a while for us to get divorced.
Can I just mention one thing?
Sure.
My dealings with my daughter's mother was nowhere near as easy as I made it sound.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But the reason why I make it sound like that is because I want the viewers to know that I'm trying to put positive out there.
Right.
So even though I might not go into detail because I know we're short in time,
Right.
I want people to know it was hard, but I never gave up.
Right.
I never stopped telling her this will benefit us. There was times where I was pacing in my house and I'm like, I don't know if she gets it.
Right.
But I wasn't gonna quit. You know why? Because I knew in the long run it was gonna hurt my pocket, it was gonna hurt my daughter, it was gonna hurt her too.
Right. Right.
Just never gave up.
Right.
But it was bad. I mean, put it one little example. I had put my daughter into the school. She was still living under my roof because the status quo had forced it to stay like that for the moment while we was going to trial. She went one day, took my daughter out of school, took her to Brooklyn. I didn't know nothing about it. I'm still at work. She had taken my daughter without notifying me, without ever put a what is it, police, what is it called?
Order protection.
Order protection on me. Yeah. So I could not even go get my daughter. That's right.
Wow.
She put an order protection on me, and I'm at a point right now where we're best friends because I worked on it to get to this point.
Gotcha.
Nothing was given to me easy. I made it, I structured it because I knew that sooner or later my daughter was gonna be 18, 20, she was gonna be a woman in her own right.
Yes,
but I
sir.
needed the mother also to be strong. I want everybody out there to understand that you can make your partner to be strong and support you as well. No matter how hard it gets. I believe that when you work at it and you push yourself forward, sooner or later they gotta cave in because who doesn't want to benefit?
Right. I totally get you, man. And, same thing with me. I kind of, tiptoed over my situation. But it's not about me right now. It's about you guys. It was bad. It was really bad for me for a very long, from the threats of jail to actually having cuffs put on me, passport taken from me, driver's license, suspended, all kinds of things that happened in the back. So it was bad. You didn't go. You're not going through this alone. You're not the only one.
Right. And I got arrested too, Larry. I want people to know. I got arrested.
Right.
I want people to listen. We're two individuals here preaching the same thing. I'm not taking nothing away from what we both went through the same thing, got arrested. But I just want people to kind of look at it in a different perspective because that's the way to attack it.
So hold that thought. We're going to take another break and then we'll come back and finish this session up.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face, in
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to the Stark Naked Truth. I'm your host, Larry Stark. Well, we've had a really powerful conversation thus far, gentlemen. And as I'm going to do on every show, I want to make sure we put some positivity out there because that's what our lives are about. Just positive energy, positive all day. This show, I want to let all my viewers know, all the listeners know, it is never about bashing anyone. This is not about bashing because we mess up too.
That's right.
We mess up too. But we just want to get our points across and be heard. So what I want to do, Ralph, I want to talk about you and your beautiful young lady.
Thank you. Thank you.
I saw you with her yesterday, and I see you with her here at the studio today.
That's right.
Let's talk about her and how, after all that storm, how your relationship with her is now.
Well, I'm proud to say that, I now look up to her.
Nice.
Because I've built someone that I know is a resemblance of my, teachings. So anytime she kind of says, "Hey, Dad, you forgot about that grocery list," I don't say, "Don't tell me what I forgot."
Right.
I listen and I say, "You're right. Let me look in what's in the fridge." We have a great relationship. I'm blessed to have had the head on my shoulders to look at it in that way as a leader. I lead her to the right things. I always tell her, stay positive, push forward. You have unlimitedness in education, career, jobs, business.
Right.
owning your own thing, whatever you want to do. You know, I let her know that sky's the limit. But it's a great relationship, you know, with the mother as well. I have a great relationship with the mother. You know, I've created this for me, you know, and I've created also my financial structure as well, which is why, like, right now, you know, I'm heading into a place where I'm unleashing where I came from. I'm letting it go. These chains that had held me back, I'm letting it go. The ghetto, I could still represent where I come from. I'm never gonna forget who I come from. I'm probably gonna look like where I come from, but I'm growing. I'm saying bye to a lot of things, but not to friends. I'm never gonna forget that. But the positiveness that's come out of me structuring it at an early time in my life with my daughter is now teaching me, is giving me back the fruits, and I'm learning. And now I'm growing as well. It's amazing. Now I'm growing also. That was a time where I had stopped because I was paying attention to just providing for my daughter.
Isn't it amazing how when you decide to put a positive twist on something, how good things start to happen?
Good things come out of it.
Because like you said, you know, you grew up in the ghetto.
That's right.
You know, you look like you look. Listen, brother, this tie comes off. This tie comes off. I grew up in the hood too, so I get it.
That's right.
But I like you, I spun into the positive side of things and tried to let my life energy just flow that way, and good things come. I believe that the universe hears you.
That's right.
Yeah. And brother, I know you still have a long way to go with this, but one of the good things, because I said we're going to do positive, you talked about your boys at the very beginning. How many boys was it?
3.
It's 3 boys. You talked about how you show them affection. I mean, there's your positive right there, the fact that you're staying on your square and you're dealing with your boys the way you need to as a man and as a father. Let's talk about them.
Yes, you know, my second son, he's like similar to your daughter. He's like my conscience. He said, you know, Dad, that was wrong. And I don't tell him, you know, don't tell him what to do. I say, you know what, you're right, Kai. You're right, I'm sorry. I said, okay. I thought so, Dad. You know, he's a comedian. And the baby, you know, that's my heart, you know. I love him so much. Excuse me.
It's all right, brother. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Okay.
But, you know, he says he still wants to live with me.
Right.
You know, no matter what.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, you've talked about the fight, and you have to keep that fight up.
Yes.
There's a brother sitting right beside you. This is what we talked about. This is why this platform is here. You have a man that's been through it, exactly what you're going through, and he can tell you some of the things he did to help him along. That's how I got here.
Yes.
You know, so we want every man that walks through these doors of this studio that sits here to be able to lend this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We create a family, man.
Yes.
You know, it'll happen. It'll happen. It's just about you putting the work in.
All day.
That's it. It's about you putting the work in. You know, it can't get any better than this, man. You know,
Or it can't get worse.
it can, it can, but we're here to hold each other up. So now you know you have at least 2 men that you've met that have walked in your shoes and will help you walk through this fire. You know what I mean? I don't take my words lightly. I tend to do these 4 o'clock in the morning. Instagram posts. Right. I'll wake up out of my sleep with thoughts in my head, and I'll sit on the side of my bed and I'll record myself. And one of the things that I realize is we as men, I did this one this morning, we as men have to learn to talk to one another and not at one another.
Yes.
That's right.
There's no reason why, because you're so much bigger or you have so much more money, that we can't figure out something together and just kind of be on the same page. Yes. You guys didn't know each other before you sat in this chair, but look at the bond that's already happened.
And we was taking pictures all over.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But that's men being men.
Yes.
This is what we do. That part I said at the beginning, who we are not. We are not the guys that walk around and forget each other. We are the guys who want to help one another. We want to be there for one another. We got to continue to do these things.
That's right,
I really appreciate you guys sitting down with me. And I have about 2 minutes left before I close out this show or this segment. I want you to give me some closing remarks, Ralph.
I really want people to get out of the starting of your show and this particular segment that, you know, we could all support each other. Everyone should be supporting each other as far as sexuality, where you come from, what situation it is. Support each other. That's my message right now. Just support each other, because everyone, even if they smiling, needs a little bit of support.
Understood.
I agree. I think it should still be each one teach one. That's what I grew up with from the time I was a teenager.
Yep.
And that's the only way we're going to have unity.
Yep.
And, you know, we all need that, especially for the generation after us.
Absolutely.
My
we
first
have
son
to
is
grow them.
my first son is in college, and I'm going to see him sometime next month too, and give him any support that I can up there to get through college.
That's
you know?
your job. That's your job. That's your job. So in closing, this segment, I'll make a promise to you, gentlemen. You have my phone numbers. You have my email address. I don't care what the hour is. The only time I won't get to you is if I'm asleep somewhere, unconscious, you know, or I do take time out and be exclusive with my little ladies, and I will at least text you and say, I'll get back to you in a minute, unless you hit me with the emergency number, right? I really want to thank you guys for sitting down and talking to me, and I want to thank the audience for joining us on this session of the Stark Naked Truth. Remember, this is a judgment-free zone. Every man has an opportunity and has a chance to express himself and lend his voice to whatever it is that's bothering him. I'd like you to join me in promoting this in every way possible. All right? Thank you for joining me on this session of the Stark Naked Truth.
Sounds good.
That said, no matter what color you are, there's only two classes. And that's saying there's a class over here and there's a class over there. And the reason that this class over here has never did anything to get this class off its back, because this is lower, this is upper. This is the oppressed, this is the oppressor. This is the exploited, this is the exploiter. And these people in this class have divided themselves and say, I'm black and I hate white people. I'm white and I hate black people. I'm Latin American and I hate hillbillies. I'm hillbilly and I hate Indians. So we fight amongst each other.
When it makes no sense, we got no government here. Why the good people get sick and then they disappear? Mind control causes aspects of physical fear. When the tears of God rotating in subconscious fear, corruption causes oppression for this mental war. Carry my hammer like Thor. The power from the mind cracks the floor. It's evident that even our currency circulation is controlled by dead presidents. My plan is to be the elephant in the room. Dr. Doom on shrooms. Last night I heard a boom. They wanna get me, but I'm Fred Hampton in a bulletproof Helly Hansen. Why do you overstate your overstanding? Cause truly I'm the representation of God. Many nations of sun, moons, and stars.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
What?
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
I already knew that I was gonna go to college, you know, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.